we spent all 3 days in Rocky Mountain National Park. And when we didn't, we were at a wedding.
I was going to say, you look a little red.
Yeah. 14 degrees humidity, 14%, sorry, 14% humidity. And even at 90, you were like, whatever, because 14% humidity. But then you would get in the car and the AC would blow on you and you're like, oh, I probably should have put on sunscreen.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was great.
And then if it was hot, we just went back into the national park and, somewhere between, depending on the elevation, 60 to 47. And even 47, I was getting burnt because...
Sounds about right. Because you're a pasty mofo.
Well, and you get a lot closer to that sun than...
You do.
You do. So I only wore like this light little jacket. It was... God, man. I love and miss Colorado so much. It was great. It was like, whatever you want. You're like, you want lakes? There's lakes. You want...
Whoa. There's no lakes in Colorado. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there are.
No, there aren't.
Yeah,
there's like one lake.
No, Granby. There's like, what, Katie? There's like two, three. They're all like put together, but Granby and Lake, whatever that I can't remember at this time.
It's not like Michigan where we have 10,000.
No. Or like Minnesota or Wisconsin and no. Also, 10,000 lakes, whatever. It's more like 10,000 ponds. Okay, it's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot of water there.
There's a lot that you can put your big old boat in.
There are, and on the west side of Rocky Mountain National Park, there are too. I have videos. I will share those videos with you after this.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
You ready to kick this off?
Always.
Aloha to all the ambivalent amoebas tuning in from the Andromeda constellation. This is episode 34 of the Geekoid podcast. We are officially into October. Summer is over. Jarrad has a sunburn. We're very excited to be here with all of you.
Sunburn in the mountains, not on a beach.
Well, because you won't find Jarrad on a beach ever.
No. But I will get as close to the sun, I guess, as humanly possible.
So yeah, we a little bit of a short break for us between episodes, but we're back at it. Probably one of the most newsworthy things that we covered last time was Xbox doing a 50% price hike on all of the Game Pass subscriptions. And I'm a Game Pass subscription, and I will report that I have canceled my Game Pass subscription.
You along with everybody else and Disney. Oh, wait, sorry.
Too soon. We're not there yet in the docket. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I was going to cancel it anyway because I'm not playing enough games right now. I wish I had time, but
same.
It's getting... Work is real busy. And there's some other stuff I can't talk about quite yet.
What?
I will next week. It's actually somewhat related to this, but people are not happy about the price hike, and I feel like this has been a long time coming. And I can't remember if I said this last time, but Game Pass was such an incredible value for everything it offered. Like day one titles that you would typically pay $60-$70 for. So if you played 2 of those games a year, it would cover the cost itself.
But Erik, you can still get day one
by buying the game
at their top tier of $30 some odd a month now. Which also, am I mistaken? But this isn't like their first increase of Game Pass. This is like their third in 2 years?
No, you're correct. I don't know how many they've done in recent memory, but this is definitely the largest price hike.
So now it's double what it used to be?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Okay. Well, thanks, Microsoft.
Yeah. I mean, they're so profitable, but the only way to keep growing your profits, and that's what Wall Street really cares about. It's not that you are profitable, is that your profits are growing. and charging your customers more. That's one way to do it, and we'll see if it pays off for them.
I wonder if it's going to be the same, where it's like you increase the price, and so then some people like us, cancel. So then you're just making the same amount of profit in the end, because there are some that will stay, and then others that have left now because like this is getting too salty and rich.
Yeah.
for
But
my
I mean, from a business standpoint, from a bottom line profit and loss, you are better off with the latter, having fewer customers paying more money because it costs you less to support them. You have less outgoing bandwidth costs for everybody downloading if you have half the number of users. And there's half the number of users who are playing games and consuming your streaming services and all that stuff. So, but I don't think that really comes into it, because that then makes it a little bit less unpredictable, because every user then who drops off is a larger hit to your bottom line. So I honestly don't think that's part of the calculation here. Yeah, but here's my grand theory of the entire gaming ecosystem, and this applies to a lot of technology over the decades, is that we go through periods of bundling and unbundling. And so you've seen over the last decade these big publishers gobble up all these independent game studios and create your Activision Blizzards and your EAs and your Ubisofts and just these juggernauts that are absolutely huge. And then they go and get acquired, or they go get bought out and go private in the case of EA. And you'll start to see some of those franchises die off, and you'll see this huge indie renaissance. And so then we start to see the unbundling of a lot of independent games and independent third-party titles and franchises just start to rise to a new kind of high watermark when it comes to quality. And then you kind of reset the entire playing field again. And then you go through another period where publishers will start to acquire these new studios that have been created. And it's just a cyclical process. I mean, you can take a look at what's happened with cable and streaming. Like, cable was consolidated behind a few major studios, and then these streaming networks started popping up because people didn't want to pay for 100 channels. They only wanted to pay for the content that they were watching. And so then you start to have all this fragmentation, and people start paying for individual services, and then Disney starts to rebundle stuff again. That's why you have Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN Plus all on one service now. And so we're seeing the rebundling, and it's just going to keep on going until the end of time.
Sad panda.
It's like, it feels good for consumers on some levels, but at the same time, like, you look at what we were paying in the past and prices just keep going up. But that's also just inflation. So, yeah.
Along with Xbox, continuing to raise their prices on consoles. And then it was funny, the articles and videos that I shared with you, where I love their comment. They were like, so if you hear Microsoft not doing Xbox consoles anymore, how do you feel if I told you Sony was going to stop making PlayStation consoles? And the majority of people were like, oh yeah, I could see Xbox doing that. And on the other side, them going, Sony's going to stop making PlayStation? Whoa, that's weird. So this is furthering along this long script that you and I have had, that, like, yeah, Schiller and other people, Dana, they've all said, like, no, we're totally going to keep doing first party consoles. However, guys, your ideas of how you want to do this is very counterintuitive from what you were as a scrappy unit like 25, even 15 years ago.
So when it comes to the next console generation, and right now on October 8th, 2025, I do think we will have another console generation. It might be the last. And the way I come to this conclusion is that the pace of change in technology it's increasing at such a rapid pace, and the form factors of our home entertainment systems, of the way we make games, the way games are delivered to us, I think it is going to fundamentally change in the next decade. And I just don't see how a home console system will make, especially a super high priced one that is equivalent to a mid level gaming PC, makes a lot of sense in 10 years.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah.
And so I think Microsoft did a great job just with their play on everything and having Xbox as a core service where you can play almost everything. I don't know what it means for Sony. They have a really strong stable of first party titles, so maybe they just shift to becoming a publisher in time. TBD.
It gives me no, it's a TBD, but it gives me a more positive note. You have Microsoft; they do these PCs. They help with a lot of the construction, engineering, and distribution of these PCs. A lot of their software and hardware are in these different types of PCs. So then they're seeing the writing on the wall, and they're like, hey, we already have Microsoft. Like, we've done a good job as Xbox. We just shift it into Microsoft and let these people buy their PCs, build their PCs. We're still there. We're still going to make profit. I think that's a much more positive note than anybody. That's really good, man. It's a much more positive note than I think anybody is really looking at. It's very forward thinking, Erik. Nice job.
I've been doing a lot of that. I've been trying to get ahead of the times because stuff is moving so rapidly, and it just makes me nervous, and I want to be prepared.
It's fair. It's very fair.
Freaking out, man.
I mean, side note, we've got Elon Musk that made whatever. We'll see. I'm going to make a great AI generated video game. Okay, good. Well, so is everybody else.
So here's the thing. I would love to bet. So in case you don't know, in case our audience doesn't know, there's this thing called Polymarket where people are able to create bets around literally anything. Will the U.S. have a recession by the end of Q4?
The betting of our own future.
Yeah, exactly. And so I would like to create a Polymarket that says a game produced by XAI does not or does achieve a Metacritic score of 80 or above. And use that as the barometer for whether he succeeds in this mission. Because I will tell you right now, I do not think it will succeed, but also stuff is moving and changing at a crazy pace. We'll see. Interestingly enough, XAI is hiring for video game tutors. They are hiring literally for positions for people to advise their AI on good game mechanics, poor game mechanics, what constitutes a good game versus a bad game. And they are paying between $45 and $100 an hour.
Which, what would that be a year?
Somewhere between $90,000 and $200,000 a year.
If you're remote, that's not bad, and you don't live in California.
The remote is an option,
but Colorado, it's not bad.
Well, remote also works in Colorado.
No shit.
So if you're looking for a new job, you might want to check it out. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so moving right along on the AI front, OpenAI released their own social networking toy called Sora. So Sora was their original video model. And now you can create funny videos of yourself and your friends and share them.
If anyone knows of Casey Neistat, who is like a YouTube legend, basically the godfather of like YouTube vlogs, his 7-minute video was amazing. Everybody should watch it.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. It's the what the F, and also as he's doing it, he's plugging in Sora videos of him and his wife talking about what he's talking about. It's fascinating and creepy.
So I was listening to a podcast on my drive home today with Sam Altman, who's the CEO of OpenAI, and he was talking about how the dynamic has completely shifted with users on Sora. Traditional social media, you have about 1% of the entire population who is creating content, another 10% who's commenting, and then the entire rest of the population are just doom scrolling and watching content. That has completely flipped. People are more engaged and creating content and not so much consuming it. And I think it's mostly because it's centered around them. And and it poses an interesting challenge because the entire model of social media is based around ads, and that doesn't really work if you're not scrolling and you're just creating, and the creation is super expensive. Like, using Sora is really expensive for OpenAI. Like, these video models take a buttload of compute. So they honestly don't know how they're going to monetize this, but they're a $500 billion company, so I don't think they're too worried about it right now.
What I think is interesting is are the comments of people using it who are content creators, and their comment to that is, I get to see myself doing something that I've been dreaming about, or something that, like, I don't think I'll ever be able to do. And so there's two sides to that coin. One side is it gives them like an outlet to then be like, oh, maybe it like gives them courage or confidence to then do that. The other half I just thought about was like
that's a scary thought.
Ready Player One, where it's like, you don't have to. You can, or Wally, you can just be in your chair or on your treadmill, and then you are a superhero, whatever. So it's almost like a very weird human research experiment. It's like, where is this going to go? And
it very much feels like
the
an
future?
Experiment. And I'm sure OpenAI is looking at it that way. I don't think they necessarily expected the usage to play out the way it has. So TBD on the route they take.
It's interesting too. I didn't think about like AI is going to be saving all of that information too. So then it's going to have interesting information of like what people are asking to see themselves doing, and then be able to,
what are the prompts? And then the AI is just going to refine the prompts over time. Hopefully it should get better. The other interesting part about all of this that I want to touch on is copyright. OpenAI has put forth a very interesting copyright model where they say you can opt out if you are a copyright holder. So Disney can say, don't use any of our characters, and OpenAI will go, okay. Or they can opt in, and apparently they are planning some sort of revenue share with copyright holders. We'll see how that works, because they got to figure out how to make money first. But it's a really interesting model, because this is the first time I think we've ever heard of an opt-out model. So I'm just waiting for the lawsuits to start flying, because this can't become a standard where the onus is on the copyright holder to tell people to stop using the copyright. That just feels bad.
It's interesting you say that too. Sora, if somebody is also part of Sora, you can put in their at whatever title tag is, create the video without their permission, and they're in the video.
Well, that's kind of baked into the terms of service, and
because you logged in, you have an account.
Yeah, you signed up, so you basically sell your soul for the ability to use the product. Users have no rights.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a rude awakening.
Yeah. Man, interesting times. It is freaking wild to be alive.
I mean,
right
implications. If you, this was something I was thinking of, like teenagers or college students, like, they're on Sora, their account, their gamer tag, their Sora tag, and then, sorry, this is very negative, but like bullying and then making like a video that could be impactful to the other person. This is some weird stuff, man. Some weird juju.
This makes me think to YouTube and Twitter X, like the memes where you see all these WWE reels of people suplexing each other, but you have just like the cutout of someone's face. And now it's going to be like them actually suplexing another human being. So
yeah, man.
It's going to get wild.
Yeah. I mean, even like I have friends, this is somewhat of a side note, but it does correlate with AI. There's new HR programs for recruiting that are starting to work so good. I think the first one was Olivia, as far as this one company. And then now they've worked up to Brian. But even the HR people were talking about the program like it was a person. Brian is doing this, and Brian is doing that. And now I don't have a job. And so now I'm being shifted
now no one has a job
into another position because Brian is now doing recruiting in the first line phone call interviews before you go talk to your potential future manager. This is happening very fast, Erik. We've been saying this since episode 1. And we're only at what, 34?
That is correct. We'll see where we get at episode 50 and 100. It's going to be like, we might just be replaced by episode 100. We'll just have AI impersonate us.
Probably enough time. Probably can do it now. Good Lord.
That's a strange thought. Yeah. How about we switch gears?
I just gave me the heebie-jeebies, bro.
Let's switch gears to talk about AI pouring into the real world.
Such a switch.
But I mean specifically Tron Ares and the initial reviews that have been coming out. It's been a bit of a mixed bag.
It's very mixed, extremely.
So on the positive, we have Jared Leto, Nine Inch Nail, new music, visual feast for the eyeballs. On the downside, a nonsensical story that isn't grounded in reality. And that was kind of my complaint a few months ago when the first trailer hit. What have you been seeing, Jared?
It's very, very similar. Everybody is loving Leto and how he portrayed the character, this program, and then finding his way through. They're absolutely adoring Nine Inch Nails, coming back as Nine Inch Nails and not as just a composer for a movie, and loving the music that's coming through as you're watching it. And then, the visuals are like top notch, probably plus that if there is that. However, everybody is walking out going like, there's a good guy and there's a bad guy. But it's so clear cut without any like rhyme or reason. It's like your baseline bad versus evil or bad versus evil. Which one's better? Well, good versus evil story without some of that development of the why and development of the characters that people were really looking forward to. A lot of people talked about Legacy, how the second Tron movie was not great, but when they compare it to the third one, Legacy is already getting higher scores now for 2 reasons. A, story is better than Ares, and then the other side is it did leave it where a program did come to reality, and they left it that it was Flynn's son, who Flynn was the original creator of this whole thing and then got shafted by corporate, whatever, moves. And it was ripe. Matter of fact, people are walking out of Ares going like, this could have been a perfect sequel to that second part, even adding this Ares character who is Leto and having that, like, you see someone, Olivia Wilde, who came out. So you see now this transition, this progression, and having Flynn's kid or somebody else within that. And even someone I thought was pretty spectacular there was, in the very first movie and in the second one, there was a program who was based off of Flynn's best friend and partner at the time. And Leto could have been that second, like, prodigal program to save the grid in reality. And they kind of scrapped a lot of, like, the basis and the foundations of these last two movies, kind of almost started from scratch all over again, even with Jeff Bridges, thank God, coming back. But it was more of a cameo. It was like
Yeah.
5 minutes. I'm very, very sad. I've said in previous episodes, this was the movie I was looking forward to. It's a day before my birthday. Tron is one of my favorite, like, lores. I mean, even, I think it was like an Italian or French art studio did a cartoon version of Tron. I didn't like the long, lanky characters, but the story was good, and so was the visuals. No, I'm very, very sad. I'm probably gonna own it, so I'm gonna just let's throw it out there right now, because there's a lot of cheese movies, and I own the first one, I own the second one, I will own the third one. But am I gonna go to the theater? I was gonna do IMAX. I was gonna do the full
Oh
shebang,
man.
and it doesn't sound like I am going to be spending any bit of money. And even I'm going to wait 3 to 6 months for it to drop down from whatever it's probably going to be, $30 online, to more like 12.
Yeah. So I agree 100% with everything that you said. But the one thing I wanted to kind of envision is a future where us as viewers, as invested parties in the IP,
Man, I wish I lived in Michigan where it's legal, because I know where this is going, and I'm so excited.
the copyright holders, they, in this AI empowered future, could have the ability to allow the consumers to remix and edit and recreate stories in to their own liking. And
Wow. I didn't think you were going to go there. Oh,
all of
that's
the plot
interesting.
elements that you just shared, between what happened at the end of Tron Legacy to what happens in Tron Ares, like, I could see people using AI to stitch together and create a better story and doing
Their
editing.
own Snyder cut.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I think in the long term, that's where things might head. We're going to have the capability and the compute that we can tailor content to individuals, or two groups of individuals, I should say.
That's where that copyright's
individuals
going to come in. That
Yeah,
Disney's already forward thinking.
So we shall see how it plays out. And you know what? There might already be people who are working on their own cut and then releasing it gratis to the internet, because that has happened before.
Sure. Yeah.
And here's the reason I bring it up.
Even pre stuff like that. Like, there's a documentary of Tron. So John Campea, that both you and I watch every so often. The guy's great. He's got a great podcast. He's got a great videos. And he has two guys that are really great partners on his show. And Robert, who's John's main partner, did a documentary on Tron before Tron Legacy. And so now Tron is coming back at 4K, which I'll probably buy, because 4K. Okay. So I'll probably buy it. He even said slyly, he goes, listen, please buy the digital or physical, because my documentary of Tron is on there, but it might be already online on YouTube. And that's pre-COVID, pre-AI, that's just us being us humans. Well, what you're saying, yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be really interesting going forward.
This is like pirate stuff, like Pirate Bay and Napster, but this is going to be a whole new, like, you know what? I don't like it. So here, or this is what the fans really wanted, or the true fans, or whatever. This is going to be Hollywood is going to lose their minds.
Yeah. Hollywood is one of those industries that has adopted technology, even I would argue disruptive technology, but I do not think they are prepared for this change.
No,
because it
this
is
goes across
so
board.
revolutionary.
This is entertainment in general. Like, we just talked about video games, and then
I honestly think gaming is
music, and then
music.
movies. Like, it's crazy. You can watch some Sasquatch AI YouTube channel, and there's 2 cats doing a podcast. It's really funny. There's 2 dogs doing a podcast, and they always...
I mean, we might be babies doing a podcast on YouTube in 2 days. Just watch.
That was the first of all the dumb AI stuff. So, gosh, man. Yeah.
I do want to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to talk about some breaking news. This literally just dropped within the last hour. Discord, which I'll get to in a second, has identified approximately
3 hours before you invited me to our new Discord channel.
No, this is like, well, now you ruined the secret that we're going to have a Discord channel.
That's fine. But we'll announce it at the end. Hey, it's a teaser.
Yeah. But Discord has identified approximately 70,000 users that may have had their government ID photos exposed.
What?
As part of a customer service data breach.
How does that even happen? Like, what are you putting on Discord that all of a sudden somebody goes, oh, cool, thanks.
So that's what I was questioning. I was like, why would anybody put their government ID on Discord? That doesn't make any sense. But apparently there's like an appeals process where people need to prove their their age, and so part of that age-related appeal goes through a third party, and that third party was hacked, and apparently 1.5 terabytes of age verification photos were stolen. So 2.2 million photos, of which 70,000 people used government IDs, which makes me just slap my forehead and go, why are you using a government ID to verify your age for a Discord server?
I mean,
what kind of kinky shit are you into?
Discord is almost the new Slack in some regard.
It is. I know plenty of businesses that are using just Discord.
So some of those businesses might be like, hey.
But why would you need to verify your age for a business use case?
So, dude, I don't know.
like this just is just weird. It's a weird story, but I feel like we got to call it out.
It's very sad. I'm very sorry
since
for
we're
everybody.
Announcing that we are launching a Discord channel. So next week, the next episode, we will have a join code so you can join our Discord. And I'm going to convince Jarrad to start doing the prep for our episodes in that Discord. And you can play along at home. Hey, this is how we get community engagement, all right?
Yeah.
All 10 of them.
Yeah. Or of the 20, 5 will be like, oh, I know Discord. Okay, dokie.
Clickety clack. All right. What do you got for me?
Did I text you?
I've used most of your stuff. Sorry.
That's cool, because that's what I want to talk about. Oh, Fortnite.
Oh, yeah. Daft Punk and Eminem doing concerts in Fortnite.
So Daft Punk just did a concert for like an hour.
So,
and then,
which is blowing my mind, because concerts in Fortnite are not a new thing. Like Fortnite is multi-purpose. It's
they've been doing it for 6 years, which also now, dude. Again, I'm not a Fortnite guy, but like they've been doing it for like 6 years. Steve Aoki and Diplo and like
Dua Lipa,
Ariana Grande. I was like, what?
But yeah, here's my question: was it actually Daft Punk?
But I was like, didn't they break up?
No, they didn't break up. They retired.
Oh, okay,
like they both had families, and they're like, we've made enough money. We've achieved everything we set out to. Like, we've won Grammys and every accolade possible. We just want to spend time with our families.
Maybe this was just so easy. They were like, yeah, we'll just like give you some mixes, and then you guys can just like do the visual.
Just have a mocap person back there just going,
yeah.
Dooka.
I mean, I watched half of it, and I was like, it's just a Fortnite.
Did it feel like Daft Punk, or did it just feel like watching a YouTube video?
I think if I would have had this on a screen or a nice little 27-inch or 32-inch like monitor, like, and I was like actually like floating my little person, because most of the time you look like you're falling, like in Fortnite where you jump out of the plane, you're falling towards whatever. It's most of that. But there was one point, which is about where I stopped, where you could then, you're dropped and you're at this like, I don't know, futuristic Tron-esque, which was kind of cool. Club, huge, where it had like multiple rooms, and then it even said explore. So like dum
Explore.
go do something. Go do things. Go touch things and interact with them. And then no, I never saw Daft Punk, but I saw like lights, and gosh, if you have like seizure warning.
But usually the main attractions is that there's like a big stage and the headliner is
CG
on the stage.
Like Snoop Dogg, I think Snoop Dogg had like a CG version of him.
Yeah, well, I mean, Snoop Dogg will sell out
Snoop
for
Lion.
I don't know, baby food at this point. I mean, let's be fair, I'd probably buy it for my kid. But yeah, it's I want to get to the bottom of this, and I won't, because
Look at the text. That's it. I want to. What's the true purpose of this fridge bullshit? Well,
yeah,
it was
I don't know.
fun for the heartbeat. They finally did. And it was funny. The headline, once you got to the club, was Daft Punk Alive. And so it felt and sounded more like the Alive album, and more of like
which I own.
them.
I own something.
I own the CD, and then I own the digital. I bought it twice. Listen, dude, it was before Apple, and then there was after Apple, and Zoom, and all that shit. So then it did get into that live, and they were remixing like 2 or 3 of their songs together. But I was also like, I heard this like 15 years ago.
I mean, let's face it, most of the kids in the Fortnite probably have never heard the music before.
Daft Punk in general.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was more exciting. I didn't realize, there were so many people who had done this before. Eminem was one of them. And I was like, what? Okay. Not Little John, Eminem.
I mean, here's the thing. For an artist, I'm curious what the payout is. Because you think about all the effort that goes into doing an actual stadium level show. And
this can't be that much, dude.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Fortnite flips
maybe you do some
visuals.
Yeah, maybe you do some mocap, and like maybe it actually is a live performance, but you're in a room. Maybe there's some fans or whatever.
Recorded, yeah.
I mean, it could be pre-recorded. That's also fair. Like, it's not a big lift for the artist compared to a live like concert show. So
absolutely.
But also, here's the thing: the payout might actually be bigger.
This kind of goes back to that whole Ready Player One. And dude, if this was VR goggles, I would probably, and I experienced it, it would probably be a whole other spiel. Trippy. I live in Indiana.
There's a weird thing that happens with VR in this situation, because you want to emulate that concert feel, but everyone wants to have that. I'm in the front row and I'm seeing my artist, but then who's behind me? Do you, like just populated with a bunch of...
Are you creeping out? You're like getting anxious. You're like, oh, are you gonna steal my government ID?
So like it like, do you just fill the stadium with just fake people and everybody stands in the same place and watches the concert?
Wow. It looked like WoW. It looked like
which I have seen. Yeah, which makes me laugh every time I see one of these live casts. It looks ridiculous.
Or Destiny. It looks like 50 people all in their like special costumes and all their
jumping
gear.
On top of one another.
Yeah, or teabagging. They're just hitting the down button.
So yeah, it's not organized at all on that level, but it works out. And I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad they're pushing the envelope. I'm glad Epic is exploring ways to use technology to expand to new audiences.
In a very different way that nobody's done. And they've been doing it for, again, 6 years. I'm like, I'm now
Catch up with
old.
the times, bro.
Yeah, dude. Whoops, my bad. I could have been watching concerts like all this time.
Yeah.
Whoops.
All right. I do want to call out that for a second week in a row, I'm not prepared with Indie Showcase. But I do want to highlight that Steam Next Fest kicks off next week on October.
September. It was September. It wasn't that long.
The margarita's hitting me. October 13th. So from October 13th to October 20th.
13th. 13.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of new games announced, a lot of free demos available as well for said games. So check that out.
I guess if we're saying what we're saying and potential Xbox, like this is the next route. So like this should be something on everybody's radar because this might potentially, it is the future. Check out Steam and
that is a very great call out. Like I feel like Steam is the often overlooked
anymore.
I don't want to say not underdog because they're freaking huge and it's a private company, so no one knows what their numbers are. But like when it comes to independent platforms and PC gaming,
it's Steam.
It's Steam and like yeah, you have G2G and you got the Epic Games,
Game Pass.
But like there's so far behind. Like they're not even 1/10 of what Steam is. Like
yeah.
So who owns the future? It might be Steam. And honestly, I think that's why Microsoft made the Activision Blizzard acquisition is because they wanted to be in a position to compete with Steam. And if that was the case, then Satya over at Microsoft has got some really visionary glasses or something.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, we said that for many years about Apple, and then Samsung and Google have just come up so hard and so fast. The only thing I will say to Apple when it comes to that is that when Apple makes a change, God, I don't know why. You don't have to do this, Samsung and Google and Xiaowei and everybody else, but God bless when Apple makes a change, everybody else does too, because Apple is still like the most popular. Steam though, dude, nobody can touch them. You have a Steam library. You have future betas, and God, you could do betas for like 5 years. You and I have played games that are like, oh, they're finally gonna do an A-rated one. Oh, good. Oh, they're getting so close. And it's a game. It's a full blown out game. I think Eve was like one of those games that was like, it's in development for years. It was already a great game. And they're like, okay, it's finally out. You're like, well,
but even games that launched and were alive still make their way to Steam, even after a decade. Like I think it took a decade for Steam for EVE Online to come to Steam.
PlayStation and Xbox, or Sony and Microsoft, they also utilize Steam, even when like Xbox is doing Game Pass and doing their own cloud. There's still stuff that's on Steam because they're not dumb. They go.
but here's the thing, like I'm so confused about what is happening over at Steam. Like they seem to be content with the status quo, which is
they're content. They are not going to do another Portal. They're not going to do another Half-Life.
Well,
I'm really sorry for those 0.5% who, know Half-Life and want a 3. They're not going to do another Left 4 Dead, which would be 0.00001 me. They even like threw up a logo. Oh God, where it had 3 fingers and the other 2 were cut. Oh man, yeah, I'm done.
So when it comes to Portal, the person who created Portal, they were acquired or they joined Steam and then they subsequently left. So I don't think we're going to get a Portal 3, nor do I think the IP really justifies it. I mean, I mean, here's the thing. Portal 2 was amazing. You'd have to introduce,
Dude,
I spent
you
5
promised
seconds
me
thinking about it.
years ago that you and I would play Portal 2. You gave me Portal 2 and I said, and I started it and I went, I don't know if I should be playing this by myself. And you go, that's a great idea. You shouldn't play it by yourself. You and I should play it together. Yeah, I got the blue stick, you got the yellow stick. Then life happened.
Yeah.
And then I just watched, God bless, that game's been out how long? 15 years, dude?
Something
I
like
just
that,
watched a Let's Play 2 weeks ago. And they were like, yeah, let's revisit it. Dude, it holds up spectacularly.
Well, it holds up, especially because they've done the effort to update it to utilize the latest ray tracing technology in the NVIDIA and AMD GPUs. So they've been updating it to continue to make it look amazing. And that's a game where I think ray tracing really shines because you have a lot of these surfaces and then you have a lot of weird stuff happening around them, and it's
Get
a
all that
visual
glow and that reflection and
feast for the
pretty.
eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth and say I think there is an ability to do a Portal 3, and I think the way you could do it. So you look at all the different tools that you have available in Portal. Like the first one, it was the portal gun, and then I believe it's the second Portal, you introduce these tools that allow you to manipulate the way physics happen.
Yeah, the portals themselves. All I
Well,
remember is the
like
cake.
like the slipperiness of surfaces, bounciness, and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only way you could really do a Portal 3, and this is me being very narrow-minded, is if you had some mechanism to adjust time, slow it down, speed it up, rewind it. I think that would be a very interesting mechanism to introduce to Portal, and then you'd have it's just a mind-blowing number of potential puzzles between all the various tool sets, and it would basically break most players' brains. But yeah,
let's make that / you make it and I'll help you market it. I will help you market that game.
I don't have the smarts to do that. I'm sorry to say.
It's a really great idea. And people have already been doing the whole backwards. I mean, Mario Kart, God forbid, that already does it. There's so many other games that do that. They're like, just reverse 30 seconds. Or reverse 30 seconds to see something else. There was even an iOS game that I think was only like 2 hours. But you had to do things in the present, reverse yourself, but it knew that you'd already done something to then be able to actually make it through the rest of the puzzle. And it was 2 kids and a weird fantasy nightmare, which is kind of classic, unfortunately. Trying to get out of this fantasy dream nightmare.
Yeah. But you know what else is using time mechanics? New expansion of Hearthstone.
Oh, that's right.
Is a first, I believe, for any sort of collectible card game. So they're introducing a rewind mechanic that allows you to basically go back in time and re-roll the random number generator on certain abilities and certain things to possibly change the previous outcome. Which
is something I've never, ever, ever seen or even thought possible before. Like it's still even, that was a very brief explanation, and I still don't get it.
No, I think we're going to have to play it to really understand it. But again, this is one of those areas where I think when collectible card games originally came to digital and people were like, you're just going to charge money for what was once a physical thing. Like, no, there are capabilities that you can only execute on a digital platform that you can't execute in the real world. So this is them pushing the envelope, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah,
we'll see how it plays out. If you're
Comes
listening
out
right now, It comes out in November, but
Yeah.
if you play right now, they are giving you away free packs if you just play a game.
Yeah. They're giving free packs. There's a Tavern Brawl, which is like just a weekly thing. But if you win those, which are pretty easy, they'll give you more packs. They've got discounts right now on future packs to be released, but they must be so confident about it that they're already even allowing some of those cards to be used now. There are other
it's
cards.
an interesting technique that they started with the last expansion, and I think they saw some success with it. It's like, how do I get more packs? And I'll be honest, like I shelled out a ton of like I didn't not money, but the in-game currency to continue to play this like expanded brawl so that I could get more packs before the expansion was officially released, because you can use it before the expansion is officially released. It was kind of fun.
And it gives you ideas of what those cards do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's neat. It's good. And it allows them to, like, hey, you should try these other modes we have, arena and whatever. It's good. It's good. It's good stuff, dude. I mean, it's been the one game since we both graduated that like we still play. I've slowed down, which is my bad. Whoops. Even though
Yeah,
I was the one that advocated for it hard, and got most of my brethren back. And then I'm the one that's like, oh, I can't play.
Yeah, I don't know what Jared's talking about and all and whatnot. I got a kid. All right, so we got Steam Next Fest coming next week. We're going to officially announce our Discord server next week, along with our newsletter.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm so excited for that. I can't wait to hear more about it.
So stay tuned, everyone. It's going to be really exciting, I promise.
It'll be awesome sauce.
Yeah, but thank you, everyone, for tuning in to yet another episode of the Geekoid podcast. It's been fun and delightful being here with all you amoebas.
You little one-celled organisms. No. One day you'll populate and multiply.
All right. I love you, bro. I got to go take care of kiddo.
I love you too. And I love you guys. All of you. Thank you for the...
And together we are...
Geekoid podcast.
Not just Geekoid, not the...
Geekoid.
We'll get it ironed out.
We are so geek. We're oid.
End of transmission.